Hello everyone. So this is Rachna once again with life in the Arctic for you. Well, we do visit a whole lot of places where we humans find it very easy to live, to move around, and it's not all that difficult to survive. But yes, Arctic is full of challenges. It is so mysterious. And when you look at the animals, you look at the ambience, you find it really mesmerizing. But is it really all that beautiful to live over there? To really stay there? Well, let's find out. Well, children, many parts of Arctic is not really covered with humans, but some of them are. Okay, so in order to know a little about Arctic, we are going to only talk about the animals and the plants in this video. So the first one that we have with us over here is the Canada lynx. The Canada lynx is a medium-sized North American lynx that ranges across Alaska, Canada, and northern areas of the contiguous United States. It is characterized by its long, dense fur, triangular ears with black tufts at the tips, and broad snowshoe-like paws. Well, a lynx fiercely defends themselves, and that's with all lynx. They fiercely defend themselves when cornered, and although they typically avoid people, they may attack a human if they feel threatened. With its padded, furry claws, the lynx can quietly sneak up on its prey. Oh, well, so sweet they are, isn't it? Bunny rabbit like. But they are the Arctic hare. They are a species of hare which are highly adaptable to living in the Arctic tundra and ice and other icy biomes. The Arctic hare survives with shortened ears and limbs, a small nose, fat that makes up close to 20% of its body, and a thick coat of fur. Now, several species of hares, including the Arctic hare, Lepus arcticus, the mountain hare, L. timidus, and the snowshoe hare, turn from brown or grayish to white in the winter. The color change is thought to be at least partially linked to photoperiod, that is, the amount of light received during the day. Well, this is the narwhal. The narwhal or narwhale is a medium-sized toothed whale that possesses a large tusk from a protruding canine tooth. It lives year-round in the Arctic waters around Greenland, Canada, and Russia. It is one of two living species of whale in the family Monodontidae, along with the beluga whale. Well, so how does it look when you see this, a long protruding tusk? Doesn't it look like a sword, a huge sword? And what does it really, remind you of? Well, doesn't it remind you of the mythical creature, unicorns of the sea? So, the tusk of the narwhal are actually teeth that are inside out. Okay? They are toothed whales. They spear their food and are as aggressive and dangerous as they look. So don't really think that, being a mythical creature is supposed to be very sweet and loving. No, that's not true. Well, with the horns that it has, I'm sure you've understood who this is in the snow. Well, I'm sure most of you would remember this Christmas song about the reindeer. Well, I really wouldn't want to sing the song right now, but then this is the reindeer, and it is also known as caribou in North America. It is a species of deer with a circumpolar distribution, native to Arctic, subarctic, tundra, boreal, and mountainous regions of northern Europe, Siberia, and North America. This includes both sedentary and migratory populations. Well, it has a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, which is the maximum. Well, I'm sure you know by the look of the face that this is a fox, and this is the red fox. The red fox is the largest of the true foxes and one of the most widely distributed members of the order Carnivora, being present across the entire northern hemisphere, including most of North America, Europe, and Asia, plus parts of North Africa. Well, so what do you think about them? Could they be dangerous? Well, they aren't dangerous to humans except when they are rabid, which is very rare. Although foxes sometimes succumb to rabies, the good news is that the fox strain of the disease has rarely, if ever, been transmitted to a human in this country. Luckily, post-exposure treatment is 100% effective if promptly administered. Red fox or vulpes, also called common fox species of the Canidia fox family, is found throughout Europe, temperate Asia, Northern Africa, and Northern America. So, well, I think we've known a lot about a couple of animals there. So, let's try and understand the flora and fauna of this particular area. Okay, so this what you have is Salix arctica, or should I say the Arctic willow. So, it is a tiny creeping willow that it is adapted to survive in Arctic conditions, specifically the tundras. The Arctic willow grows in tundra and rocky moorland and is the northernmost woody plant in the world, occurring far above the tree line to the northern limits. Now, here we have the bearberry. It is a plant species of the genus Arctostaphylos, widely distributed across circumboreal regions of the subarctic northern hemisphere. Kinnikinick is a common name in Canada and the United States. It is one of the several species referred to as bearberry. Well, it is a low growing ground cover that usually tops out between 6 and 12 inches, that is 15 to 30 centimeters. The flexible stems support teardrop shaped leathery leaves in a dark green color. Well, now, children, what we have in front of us are beautiful flowers, right? This is the Saxifraga oppositifolia, or let's say the purple saxifrage or purple mountain saxifrage. It is a species of plant that is very common in the high Arctic and also some high mountainous areas further south, including northern Britain, the Alps, and the Rocky Mountains. Well, it is a flowering plant and belongs to the saxifrage family. Well, children, I'm sure you've seen these flowers. You might have seen them something similar to this. And of course, the name is very, very common. At least the second name is very, very common. So, well, this is Papaver radicatum, and it is a species of poppy known by the common names Arctic poppy, rooted poppy, and yellow poppy. Well, the Arctic poppies are one of the most northernly growing plants in the world, covered in black hair. They are hardy and tough, with some surprisingly delicate yellow or white petals. These flowers continually turn to face the sun, tracking its progress across the sky and attracting insects to the center of the bloom. So, what does this look like? Doesn't it look as if it's cotton wool all over? Something like cotton wool spread around everywhere? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Probably it is the cotton grass. Of course, it is the cotton grass. Not probably. Well, Aerophorium is the scientific name for it, and it is a genus of the flowering plant in the family Cypricaceae, the sedge family. They are found throughout the Arctic, subarctic, and temperate portions of the northern hemisphere in acid bog habitats, being particularly abundant in Arctic tundra regions. So, well, another very surprising and good thing about this particular plant is that it is used in the production of candle wicks and paper in Germany. In Scotland, cotton grass was used to dress wounds during First World War. Now, cotton grass seeds and stems are edible and are used in traditional Native American cuisines by Alaska Natives, Inupiat people, and Inuit. Well, apart from that, you already know that they are a big food source for migrating snow geese and caribou. So, well, with this, we come to the end of this particular video, and I hope you have really enjoyed it. And of course, I'm sure you would be wanting to visit this place or parts of this region in times to come. But as of now, please stay put where you are, stay home, stay safe, drink lots of water, and do some breathing exercises. Bye bye. See you until next time.